Hello, everyone! I'm Buford MC, and welcome back to another adventure in GregTech New Horizons. And today we have a very special episode because today is episode 100. So I'm quite excited about this episode, and as I've been saying for a while now, today we are going to do a full tour of our base. And we're going to take a look at everything together. So I'm quite excited to take a look at it. So let's dive right in. So as we go in through the base, a lot of the stuff, if you've been a long-time viewer, if you've been watching the series for a while now, a lot of the stuff you've already seen, but there is going to be some stuff you haven't seen just yet. And one of those things you haven't seen just yet, as you might have already noticed, is our new observation deck on top of the mountain here. So I built a little bit of a structure here. It's actually really not that much, but it's a starting point. We're going to use it as well for our crop breeding area in the future because I have wanted to expand our crop breeding up here. And we are going to need some machines as well at some point and kind of involved with that. So I figured we might as well have a little structure up here and a little observation deck so we can take a look at our base from above. Quite a nice view, isn't it? So yeah, we have a lot more, though, to look at in the actual base itself, outside and inside the base. So we've got a lot to look at, so let's get right into it. And yeah, we got a lot to do, so let's get started here. So we'll head on down the mountain here. And, well, we have a little tunnel right here. This is inside of our mining tunnel. Now, this is something I set up when I first made this. It's an interesting thing when I did this. It's a little waterfall. It's not too much, but it is filled with all this water. I had to manually carry that all the way. And this is in the early days again, because there's no infinite water in this pack. I had to carry that all the way from kind of the little lake river area over here, and then carry it up here. I only had like 2 buckets at the time, so it took quite a while to do that. I remember that. That was way at the beginning of the series. So, head on down here and take a look now at the rest of the base, because we got a lot to take a look at here. And it does appear that the sun is setting as well, so we'll have to go to sleep here in a bit. So we'll start up here, and I guess the first thing we'll take a look at is our little charcoal pile igniter. Now, one other thing I've done, so as we go through the base tour here, I've done one other thing as well. So what I have done is I put some signs on, not everything we have, but some of the more interesting setups that I kind of felt were interesting enough. And if you're curious about kind of, well, more information about these specific things here, this is the episode we did these specific things on. So this is the charcoal pile igniter right here. We did that in episode 46. And the way it works is we have to come under here into this tunnel in the mountain. And basically, we have this area right here, which is surrounded by dirt with bricks on the bottom. And we have to fill it up with wood logs. And once you fill it completely up with wood logs, it will make you a whole bunch of charcoal. It was really good back in the day. We don't really use it anymore because we have much better ways of making charcoal, but it was quite good at the moment. All right, let's go to sleep quick. But yeah, this supplied us a tremendous amount of charcoal back when we used it, really. We get a tremendous amount of charcoal now anyways, but this was the original way. We got a whole bunch of charcoal, and we still have a ton of wood here as well. Look at that, 5,772, quite a bit of wood. And speaking of wood, the way we got all that wood was from these massive trees over here. So over here we have these massive trees. These are rainforest oak trees, and well, the way we make them, you have to actually make the sapling to get these. So rainforest oak sapling, you just use any normal sapling, 1 piece of bone meal, and a stick. A couple of sticks to get a rainforest oak sapling. Once you've made one, you'll be swimming in them. So we have quite a few of them, and the way we chop them down is we have a iron lumber axe from Tinker's Construct. It is unbreakable. It'll never break. That took quite a bit of work to get that to like that, but wasn't too bad in the end. And basically just chop it. It'll take the whole tree down in one chop, and then we replant it, and we keep going. Now, this was the way we got wood for a long time, and we stocked up on a lot. Look at that. We have 11.5 thousand wood in that bale there. So this is our main wood supply for a while. Of course, now we have automated our wood with a crop manager, so we don't even need to do this anymore, because this was still, you had to still chop down the trees yourself. Now we don't have to do that at all. So I'm probably going to tear these trees down, probably pretty soon. I figured I'd keep them for this episode since they were so important for us for so long. They had to be here for episode 100 at least, so I kept them around that long, and they'll probably be gone pretty soon. but I had to mention them now. Over here, this is our orchard area, so all the different trees that we get from Pam's Harvest Craft, they are all stored down here. Well, I say all of them. There is an exception. We're missing one tree, which is right here. It's between the pomegranate and the vanilla bean tree. It's the starfruit tree right here. I've actually been looking for that one. I still haven't found it. Quite disappointing, actually. But, yeah, I did try to find it. I never did. This is all part of a mission to eat all the foods I could. I haven't eaten all of them yet. Again, the starfruit's actually one that has still eluded me. Look at all these different foods we can make. Starfruit, there's a starfruit juice, starfruit smoothie, yogurt, jelly. The sandwich, that probably came from a quest reward. That's probably why we've eaten that one. But, yeah, we haven't gotten any starfruit yet. There's also one from forestry, but that's probably something different. Yeah, there's another food. That's a whole nother thing right there. But yeah, starfruit, I never found it. I'll continue looking for it. I'll find it one day. We'll get there. But yeah, that was all part of a mission to get all the different foods. Another part of that mission is over here. This is where we planted all of the different crops. So we have basically 4 of every single crop from Pam's Harvest Craft. Well, almost every single. I think there's a few... Well, there's a few we couldn't plant. And there's also a couple of vanilla crops as well. So we have the carrots, potatoes, wheat, pumpkins, and the melons we have over here. So that's where we're growing all of these. All part of getting all the different foods, which we did a lot of that a long time ago. We really don't even need this anymore. I might actually remove this at some point. Yeah, I might, because we might need the space. You never know. Over here, we have our animal pens. So we have our cows, we have some sheep, we have some chickens, and we have some pigs. How many chickens do we have in there? Only 3 chickens. I think something's killing them. I think those ocelots might actually still be getting them. I think we had more than that before. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, we don't really need them that much, but I'll keep an eye on that. Yep, we have our pigs there. Over here, this is our portal to the Twilight Forest. We go there occasionally from time to time. It's okay. We do need to still get nickel from there, actually. I still never hit up a nickel vein in that area. We do have nickel from some of the ores in the base, but I do need to do that at some point. Right, over here, this is our windmill. I was thinking about what it was for a moment. I'm looking right at it. I mean, it's obvious what it is. It's a windmill. It looks like a windmill, but the word eluded me for some reason. So this is our windmill right here. We made that. That was episode 27, if you're curious. And basically the way this thing works, this is like the earliest form of a macerator. So what you do is we have a primitive rotor, wind only. We put it in here. Of course, you also have to put something you want to macerate into the actual windmill block here. It'll come out in the dispenser after a couple of minutes. And, yeah, look at that. That's pretty nice right there. It does look quite nice. It's not the most useful multi-block. I mean, it wears out quickly. You don't need it after a pretty short time. But it does look nice. It's a nice-looking thing, I think. It has its place. Right, so that is the windmill. Over here, right, this is our current crop breeding area. So I wanted to move this up to... I want to move this up to the top of the mountain over there at some point. Once we come back here, because we actually haven't done much in here for a while. We initially set this up in episode 29. I think that was when we first went through the crop breeding stuff. And, yeah, we've got some stuff in here. This is where we did all of our stickweed kind of crop breeding stuff to get more of that stuff. What's that there? We have Sapphire on there. Okay. So yeah, we have that, and then we have some storage over here for some of the different type of seeds. So these are sorted by the different tiers of the seeds. So if we come back here, stickweed is a tier 4 seed. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, Spanish moss is tier 7. So different crops have a different sort of tier. And I've sorted them based on that right here. Tier 6 plus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Over here, this is where we get our various drops from crop breeding. We have our crop sticks. We have quite a few of those. This is our plant lens. This is what we use to identify specific crops. For example, we don't have anything to identify, but I mean, if I click on this, this is Terra Wart right here. I'll tell you what it is if you click on that. Right, so let's put that back there. This is where I stored all the stickweed different seeds I had there. And over here, right, this is something I want to mention as well for today. So recently, I came over here, and there was something strange. So we used to have weeds in this bale right here. And I came over here recently. Let me put that away. I forgot to drop that off, I just realized. In fact, let me just on the trash can. We have so many of them. So, what I've noticed recently was I came over here, and in fact, let me reenact it, actually. This barrel was gone. This is a weeding trowel right here. This is for weeds. So when you do crop weeding, you do tend to get weeds. So I put them in a barrel right here. But I came over here recently, and this is what I saw. It was basically just like this. 3 fences were missing. We had one of these oak planks missing on the bottom here, and the barrel where all my weeds were was completely gone. It's almost like something came up here and blew it up, but it only blew up basically the weed barrel and a few fences and a oak plank. Very small explosion, very strange. And I still don't know what happened. It's really strange, actually. I do have a theory, and I also know roughly when it happened. Let me put that back up because that ocelot's probably about to come in. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, look at that. As soon as I was about to place the fences down, he was about to rush in here. That's why I have the fences, because we have these ocelots. We're in a rainforest biome. Let me put that bale back as well. Yeah, we're in a rainforest biome, so ocelots do tend to spawn quite a bit. So, anyways, though, so I have some theories on what happened, but I have narrowed down as to when it actually happened, because I look back through the episode, I was really curious, because this is really strange to me, and I know when it happened. It happened sometime between episode 96 and episode 99. Because in episode 96, I had actually ran down this path here. That was when we went to go get oil. And I saw this in the corner of my eye when we came down here. So it was there in episode 96. And the next time I actually have a way of knowing where this might have been was episode 99, because we looked at the map and I can clearly tell this was gone in that episode. So sometime between 96 and 99, something here happened, and I didn't do this. So I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know why I would have done that. It's really strange. But I do have a theory, and my theory is there must have been some sort of a lightning storm, and lightning struck something right around, probably this fence right here, and it caused a fire, and it burned some of the fences. This barrel's probably flammable, and it probably somehow got that block underneath it as well. That's the only theory I can think of right now, because it's the only thing that makes sense. The only things that went away was some wooden stuff, so, of course, they'd be flammable. So, that's the only idea I have. I can't think of anything else. I suppose it is possible, but I would have remembered something like that happening. If I was fighting some mobs in the mountain, there might have been a blood moon at some point in between those episodes. I was fighting mobs in the mountain, and maybe one of them shot a fireball, and it might have hit this area here. That's another possibility, but I would have remembered a fireball being shot in a general direction of something I have. I would have remembered that, and I don't really. So those are the only ideas I have that could have happened, but clearly something happened to that, and we lost all our weeds. Thankfully, it was the weeds that we lost. It could have been something a lot worse. But anyways, a little bit of a tangent there, right there. It was just really strange when I discovered that. Right, so continuing on with the tour, we have some other crop farms right here. This is our crop farms for peanuts, which we use those for seed oil. This is for the tomatoes we have here, and the tomatoes, it's an interesting one. We actually use them in the fishing, farming, and cooking tab, and we use them for a quest called Chef Training to get some of the fast food loot bags. In fact, I'm trying to use these to get well, at least I was trying to get some specific food items. This was to, eventually, if you level these up enough, you can level up these loot bags in an assembler. You can get the dessert loot bag, which gives you the marshmallow, which is like a superfood. So it requires quite a bit of tomatoes. I think it's like 27 stacks to get that far, and it is nighttime again. So that is something I worked on at some point. So that's why we're growing tomatoes here. And then over here, we have automated crop farms. So these ones right here are actually automated. So these are spruce bonsais. And this is controlled by a crop manager. It automatically harvests everything and takes the drops as well. And we get our wood from this. This is basically where we get all of our wood from now, instead of having to use those trees. This one over here, this is the new one, actually. I installed this one recently. This is for cotton now. So we've automated the production of cotton with a crop manager as well. And we'll take a look at the inner workings of that when we head down into the basement of the base. Right, and before we actually head into the base, over here, we have our multi-farm right here. This is from forestry, and we're growing rubber tree saplings, and basically what it does is it plants the rubber trees, and then it harvests them, and we get them into here. There we go. We also sometimes get sand, We have to supply this thing with dirt, saplings, fertilizer, and water. And I just picked up a few. Can I put those in there? No, I can't put them there. What did that do? That was kind of strange, wasn't it? All right, well, let's get out of here because a tree could grow on me and that. And let's put that in the trash because that we don't need. Right, but that's how this thing works, and this is fed by a water tank. In fact, this water tank right here actually feeds water to a lot of the base. It produces quite a bit of water. It's pretty good, actually. It's made out of steel. It's the upgraded version. You can make it out of bronze or steel. Steel gives you 2 times the amount of water. But its main purpose is to feed the water to this, because this thing does use a lot of water. But it also feeds water to other parts of the base as well, which we'll take a look at that. Right, so I think that's everything we have on the outside of the base. And let's go take a look at the inside. So this is where a lot of the stuff happens. So this is our front side of the base right here. And, well, this is what we used for more of our storage area. We have a lot of storage here. So we have 2 wings, basically. This wing right here is our kind of, well, this was our initial kind of working area. So in the early days of the base, just to give you a little bit of a history lesson on the base itself as well, the initial portion of the base basically consisted of, well, basically, if we look at the map here, it was 3 chunks. We have a chunk here, and chunk here. And it was basically this stuff right here. This was the initial portion of the base. So we had our working area here, and then this area was more dedicated to food and survival stuff. So nowadays, this is really for our smeltery over here. So we covered that. That was episode 20 and 21. This is one of the oldest structures they have in the base right now. Really has never been touched since we first built it. It goes down deeper, so it is quite a decently sized one. And this is the initial crafting tables used. This is our initial working area here. Still got some stuff here from this chest, some miscellaneous items. We have some fireworks. Maybe we can fire those off in celebration of our 100th episode as well at the end. We might do that. Over here, we have some other stuff. We have various bits and bobs of storage here. This is a dust chest. We have ingots. These are ingots that I don't need as much. We have more mass storage of ingots back there in our current crafting area. These are the gems right here. This is an interesting one here. This is for the different types of gems. So when you go mining, you tend to get different type of gems like these chipped ones. You get exquisite, flawed, and I believe the other one is flawless. That one right there. So you get different type of gems, and you just get them all over the place. So I'm storing those in here. They must have some sort of a use. We have different type of fuels in here. We don't really use much in here anymore. We have different dyes, different colored blocks. This is where I have all my building materials. Various things are in here. Different blocks of various types in here as well. I don't really use this. It's just for storage. All of my wood I have. Different type of wood products. I have a lot of wood in there. And then this is for the Java barrels and the storage drawers for mass storage purposes. Over here, we have additional storage. We have potions, we have tools, enchanted armor, and we have normal armor, and then we have a couple of these just random rings from Bombcraft and stuff. And then we have a couple of barrels for some various things as well. Over here, we have our forestry machines. And what was I making here? Not sure. But we have a couple of things for forestry, the thermionic fabricator and the carpenter. And we have our chest here as well, which this is automated to put the stuff from the carpenter into the chest over here. And yeah, this was our kind of forestry area there. And in fact, actually, speaking of forestry, I think I just remembered we did not actually cover one other part of the base over here, I think. This is our bee area over here, so we didn't actually cover this, I don't think. So, if we did that, that was in episode 79 and 80 for the most part, we covered bees. Our main goal to do the bees was actually to get the upgraded backpacks, so we got the Digger's Woven Backpack, Forester's Woven Backpack, Miner's Woven Backpack. Initially, these are 15 slots, but with the progression we got with the bees, we actually get 45 slots now, so they're quite good. So, yeah, these actually still run, but they're very slow since we don't have any flames in them. We do still get some combs. The one we had here was an ignoble one, and it actually died out eventually. These two are pristine, so they'll never die out, but, yeah, that's what we have there. We have some stuff in here as well. This is our APS backpack, where we store all of our other bees as well. Field kit, tail wart, that's, declare poison if I get poisoned by these, which I'm surprised I haven't actually been poisoned yet. Usually I do by now. Right, so I'm glad I remember that, because I actually did almost forget about those. It is an important part of the base as well. Right, so let's head back in and continue on. So we covered this wing here. Let's go to this one here. This is the other side here. So this is dedicated to more of food and agriculture. So we also have various bits and bobs in here. This is stuff for bees as well. Combs, frames, honey, propolis. I have various things in there. Saplings, yeah, flowers, seeds, or berries. The Pam's Harvest Craft gardens in here. Leaves, yeah, various bits and bobs in here as well. We have this area. Now, this is interesting. I was originally going to fill all of this up with different types of food along this wall here. And, well, I got about halfway through the first one, and then I never continued on because we made this here, our multi-block kitchen from the Cooking for Blockheads mod. This is from episode 53 when we first made that, if you're curious more about it. And basically, this is where we store all of our different food items and where we made our different food items to get the hearts we have. We currently have, I think it is 66 hearts, which we got from eating pretty much all the different foods. So what we did was, if you type not yet eaten into the NEI, you get all the different food items that you haven't eaten. We still have a few pages left, but we've made pretty big progress, I'd say. A lot of this stuff is from the forestry trees, which is kind of a pain to do. There is some stuff we still need. For example, that star fruit. What was that? Where was the star fruit? There it is. Yeah, star fruit stuff still eludes me. That'd give us a little bit of some stuff, but we don't have it just yet. But yeah, we basically did that in here, because if you grab this, this is the cooking table right here. So you can basically grab anything you can make based on the items you have in here. And it's all connected by the kitchen floor, so it is quite good. It's quite good. I was quite pleased with this at the time. We have different tools. Yeah, it's quite good as well. We have some little cow trophies. We can pick these up to get some leather, actually. They give us free leather. We got these way back when. We have our pet cat over here. We got him a while back as well. So, yeah, we got some various bits and bobs around here as well. So, that's the kitchen area. Right, so this is kind of the first part of the base initially. Now let's push back into where things are really happening right here. So this is the hallway. Actually, before we go up there, let me also mention, you probably notice I've run faster on this kind of hallway here, and that's because this is a high traffic area, so I actually have smooth light concrete underneath the carpet. This is a floor carpet block from Chisel. So it gives us a speed boost when we're running back and forth, because the crafting area is up there. And we have some chest stuff I sometimes have to grab from over here, so I go back and forth a whole bunch, so it just speeds things up. And also, speaking of speed, I want to mention one other thing as well, and it has to do with my piston boots. So, these piston boots were running low on durability recently, so I had to repair them. And when you repair them, they actually lose their enchantment, so I had to re-enchant them. And take a look at what I got on these. Look at that. Protection 4, Haste 3, Unbreaking 3, and the mending I actually added on later because this was such a good set of enchantments. I really don't want to have to repair this ever again. So, and I had a mending book and I slapped that on there. So we have a pretty good pair of piston boots. And the thing that really made this good was the Haste 3. You might notice I run way faster now, and that's what Haste does. When you put it on boots, you end up running way faster. So this is quite a good enchantment. Look at the speed we move at. It's pretty good. I was quite pleased with this. I mean, when you jump, it's almost like you're floating through air when you jump, because these things give you a jump boost. Again, when you're sprinting as well, you already get a speed boost anyways from the piston boots, but it is quite fun. They're quite fun to play around with now. Run around, quite fun. But even when you're on the faster blocks, and just take a look at the speed now, and this is really good. Right, anyway, so let's carry on with the tour. We'll head up here. This is our main crafting area, and you might have noticed it by now, but there's been a bit of an expansion up here. So we have some new areas now in the base. So basically what I've done is I have added on some new areas to our wings. So we had these two wings here, and we now have added on basically identical ones going to the north on either side. So this is going to be for more expansion up here if we need to put more machines, which of course we obviously will. We have all of our machines. So the machines right here, they used to be along this back corner here. I've moved them here. Now, this is actually temporary because I'm actually going to move them again here pretty soon. Let's go to sleep quickly. I'm actually going to move them again soon. I couldn't do what I wanted to do initially because we're going to run into cable issues. So what I actually want to do is I want to keep these machines here, and we're going to put these machines on this row. We're going to put them on the third row up here. we're going to put, so we have an item pipe. It's all connected by the item pipe, which feeds this diamond chest. So this is our main kind of set of machines we used to work with. And what I wanted to do was I want to put these up here. We have these down here, of course. We would have an item pipe in the middle and a power it from the back. But if I do that now, we only have tin cables. We're going to run into some pretty big issues with power because cable loss is going to be an issue, of course. So I can't do that until I get the lossless cables, which is I think it's called redstone alloy. Let's take a look at that quickly. So redstone alloy. Let's see right there. Redstone alloy cables, LV, and they have 0 loss. So these are quite good cables. But we can't make them until we get redstone alloy, which can be made in the EBF, which is something we have to do very soon. So we'll take a look at that at some point in the future. We have to do the EBF. It's coming very soon. We're getting really close to it now. But this is something we're going to have to do at some point. Make the red alloy dust. I think that's in a mixer. Yep, we need redstone, raw silicon, and coal dust. I don't think we have any raw silicon yet. We'll have to get on with that as well at some point. So right, so that was, this is our main kind of machine area. We also have this guy right here, which is our steam fuser. So we have another one as well on this side. This is the steam squasher. This is the compressor. This is the steam fuser. And we have automatic input from this bell into the input bus. Output comes out here into the iron one. And we actually have some stuff in there as well. Some bronze, some glass. Lovely. Let's put the bronze away as well. So that's what we have over here. Now, this is right here, our main crafting area. So we do all of our main kind of crafting stuff here. And basically the way I have this sorted out and is that we have our ingots up here. We have quite a few ingots in here. Look at that. Turn that back on. 854 iron. We're actually running low on copper. We might have some downstairs, but I might have to go mining soon. 402 bronze. We're actually running low on a couple of things here. Steel, 488. Raw iron. Yeah, we have various type of things over here. But the big thing I like about this area is this item right here. This might be my favorite item in the pack. The diamond compartment. So basically what this thing is it's like having 4 of these diamond chests. The diamond chests carry a lot of storage, but take a look at this right here. This is the diamond compartment. So it has a whole bunch of different slots. And what you can do is you can organize the different slots depending on what you want. You can change kind of the different kind of icons for each tab. So there's like 8 different tabs. And the way I have it sorted out is we have a tab here for our tools, which we have to use in crafting a whole bunch. We have a tab here for the different LV components, including motors, conveyor modules, pumps, pistons, robot arms, emitters, sensors, the machine holes, and circuits. We also have a steam valve. This is for plates and the casings. We have different wires, fine wires, cables, different type of cables, so 2x, 4x1, that can hold the higher amperage. This is for our fluid and item pipes right here. We have one for rods, bolts, screws, long rods. This is for our cells and different type of fluids that we have in cells. And then this one here is just kind of a miscellaneous one that has a whole bunch of different items that may or may not be used in crafting. Most of them are pretty much used in crafting occasionally, so I put them in here. Because the nice thing about this is it can connect to the crafting station, and you can just connect all of it. So basically, if I want to make something, I can just click on it, and it's pretty easy. It can take it directly from here. Same for this guy here. So it's quite good. This is a battery buffer right here, which we can use to charge things. So we have our electric tools. For example, I can put that in there. We can charge it right on up and get that right back to full. There we go. Full charge on the wrench. These are our work tables, which we can hold. Well, we use these actually to make the tools. We're doing quite well, and they can hold the items. They're quite good. This one was for the different components as well. So, yeah, it's quite good. Got a lot of stuff in those as well. Right, over here, this is another important thing right here. And this is something I'm quite proud of myself for how I actually did this thing right here. So, these are our brick blast furnaces. They make us our steel. And we do have quite a bit of steel in there as well, don't we? So we initially made the first one of these. This was episode 40 when we did this. And yeah, it's quite good. They constantly run. I make sure they're constantly supplied with iron and charcoal blocks, and we get a bunch of steel. Let's take the dark ashes as well, actually. But the thing I'm proud about these is, well, we have them wall sharing, so we have 4 of them. Now, this isn't the most efficient way of wall sharing the brick blast furnaces, the more efficient way would be to have 2 on one side and then put 2 on the back side, because you'd actually save on more bricks. But the reason I have it like this is if we turn on the chunk borders, these things are not in this chunk right here. They're actually in the chunk next door. So if we come to the map, they're in this chunk right here, and we're in this chunk right here. So these things make a lot of pollution, and pollution is kind of a chunk-based thing. So my idea was to put them in this chunk so the pollution builds up in the chunk next door. It sometimes leaks over into the neighboring chunks, but it's not as bad in these chunks. So I never have to enter the actual polluted chunks because it is polluted. You can actually tell if we come out here, look at the grass. You can actually see the grass is changing color a bit right there. It's a little subtle, but you can actually tell a little bit. So yeah, but it's actually not that bad, because if you're in polluted chunks, you can get some pretty bad debuffs. In our basement, I do get that, because sometimes I do cross into this chunk. And you can even see if I get too close, you can see the little smog effect. I might even get hit by an effect if I get too close there, but yeah, it works quite well. So let's put these dark ashes away. And then, of course, we have another new room over here, which will be for future expansion. Well, we'll just add some stuff. We've already expanded into this room, but I haven't put anything into these yet. Oh, and also, how could I forget? We have our friendly neighborhood Iron Golem. He protects us along the base. He's taken quite a liking to this room for some reason. He's been here quite a while. But he's been with us for a long time now. He's a staple of the base. So he's pretty important. He protects us. He keeps us safe from all the Endermen and Ender Creepers that like to teleport into the base from time to time. Well, at least that's supposed to be his job. He actually, well, if they're not anywhere close to him, he won't really do anything. Anyways, let's put the steel here away. Oh, I have some leather as well. Let me drop that off as well in there. Right, anything else? Nope, we're good. Right, so that was this area here. So, should we head to... Let's do upstairs first. Right, so we'll head on upstairs. So, we have a couple things here. Oh, let's go here first. Let's turn the chunks off as well. Right, so up here we have a pair of rooms here. This room right here, this is a mostly unused room. It's meant to be kind of the magic room once we get into things like Thaumcraft, which we haven't done yet. But I have some of my magical items in here. A lot of, Thaumcraft stuff, blood magic, witchery. Also my heads, I've stored those up here as well. So all those are in here. And we also have our enchantment table, which we got this. This was in episode 71, so we can't make this yet, but we found it inside of a roguelike dungeon. That was, again, episode 71 we did that. It's in a secret room. It's actually a specific one you have to find. It's the... So it's actually, let's see, it was somewhere up here, I think. I think it's that right there. That's a wizard's tower. It's like a giant tower. So inside the second floor of that, there's a secret room. You can't find it unless you go into one of the walls that has this enchantment table. We actually found it, so I was quite happy about that. So that's what we have here. And then this room over here, this right here, I think is actually my favorite room in the base. This is kind of the planning room, the planning and strategy room. So this is my chair. So sometimes I sit here and we have some discussions about our future plans, and we have a little board over here to plan out some stuff. So we were just working on this project to get some polyethylene, which we just completed in our last episode, actually. So this is the completed plan. So I'll have to update that and figure out something else to do here pretty soon. But let's get off this table. The only weird thing about this chair is whenever I get off of it, I end up on top of the table. I don't know why, because if I sit in the other chairs, it puts me down next to them. I don't know why it's this one. Kind of strange, but this is a really nice room. I'm quite happy with it. We have a little bell here, which we ring when we complete our projects. So they're quite good. And then over here, we have our trophy area. So we have a couple of different types of trophies. We have the trophies that the pack actually gives you for various milestones. We haven't actually got one in a while. But yeah, we got some different trophies here. And then we have this. I quite like this, actually, how I did this. So this right here is an item frame with a steel ingot in it. And that's because this is the first steel ingot we ever made. The first one we ever got from the brick blast furnace. So it's quite... We basically just stored it up here. It's quite a nice little memento to know. This was the first one we ever made. And then up here, we have the first ever electronic circuit we ever made. So I kind of like to store things like that. And once we make some different type of stuff, probably when we do aluminium, we actually have some. We've gotten them from mobs and stuff and loot chests. But when we actually make the first aluminium ingot, we'll probably add that onto this wall as well. When we do that in the EBF, I think that's a big enough accomplishment. And same thing with the circuits. When we make the different type of circuit tiers, maybe, when we make the first ones, we'll probably add that to the wall as well. My ideas will just keep going along this line here and just add more and more stuff. And then up here is our Naga trophy. We got that from when we fought the Naga in the Twilight Forest. And then over here, we have some storage from some of our enchanted books. So, yeah, we've got a couple of things. A lot of them aren't too good, you know, just some basic enchantments. Yep, just a couple of things. Some of them I don't know what they do. Like, what is that one there? Bash weightless. Reduces the stamina loss per shield bash. Okay, interesting. And it is nighttime once more, so let's go back to sleep again. Right, so I think that covers... Well, it covers most of the second floor. It covers these two rooms here. Oh, and also, at the end of the episode, we're going to do some pretty fun stuff. We're going to be opening up some loot bags. We have quite a few loot bags to open, but we're going to save that for the very end of this episode. So we will be back in here at the very end. I did get speed boost, right? Yeah, when I get that speed boost from sleeping, we go, like, super fast. Now, look at the speed we're going. Right, so what else do we have? Anything else? We do have some stuff here. This is more decorative. I don't use these. This is a door factory and a block mixer. That's quite complicated. I never did figure out how really to use those. And then in this one here, we have a framing table. I did figure that one out, actually, but we don't really use it anymore. Right, so over here, we also have this room. This is my, I guess, bedroom, really. We have a clock right here, which we can actually, can make a little tick sound if you want, but yeah, that's a little bit annoying. But turn that off. It's a nice little thing. It was originally going to go into the planning room over here, but I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than that. I thought it was going to be like a grandfather clock or something like that, but it was tiny, so I thought it'd fit better in here. The bedroom area. We have our jukebox here. We have a disc rack where we have... Oops, I didn't want to do that. We have, yeah, we have... we can play some music with these discs as well. This is my treasure chest right here. I say treasure chest. Not all of this is treasure, but we have backpacks, books, some bedtime reading, enchanted golden apples, a jeweled apple. So these are some like superfoods that'll give us buffs. All of our spawn eggs we have in here as well. And these are interesting. Well, there's a couple interesting ones. We have this one here, the One Ring, which we got that a long time ago. It's kind of dangerous, I think, so we don't use it. And also these right here, this is an interesting one. I stored these in here too. Infested cobblestone. Where I got these from was they dropped from this Mirage Enderman. It has a chance of dropping these different blocks here. I don't even know if you can get them normally because, of course, Infested Cobblestone, they have silverfish in them. So if you break them, you don't actually get the block. It has a silverfish will come out of it. Right, so that was the little bedroom area. And up here, this is our steam tank. So this powers the main floor down here. This floor right here is powered by that steam tank. It also goes down into our basement, but we have more power sources down there. And the steam for this comes from up here, where we have 24 advanced solar boilers, which produce, I think, about a little over 8,000 liters of steam per second, roughly, something like that. So this is where we get the steam power for most of the, again, the main floor of the base. The basement has a different power source, but all that goes into here. And this is actually all connected as well into the basement. So it is pumped down there if we need additional power down there, because a lot of our heaviest hitting stuff is further down below, which is the next destination we're going to head to. So we have a lot of stuff to look at in the basement. This is where a lot of our heavier hitting stuff. But before we do that, let's go down here to a maintenance area. This is a maintenance area where we have the various different type of pipes for the, again, the main floor. So our turbines, steam pipes, and all the different stuff we have here. Over here, we also have interesting little setup here. This has just been running in the background. In fact, this is completely full up. So what this is here is we have a little dock area back here, and we have some of these, I think they're the, what are they, fish catchers or something like that? We made these a long time ago. They just automatically catch fish and something like that. We actually automated them to automatically export into this chest. But as you can see, everything's all full up now. I might have to put a new chest at some point there. We also have our boats here. We can take a little boat ride if we ever want to down the lake. We don't really need to do that because we have the hang glider, which is a lot faster. So I don't really ever need to do that. But there we go. It's a little dock area. Right. So we have the next part, which is the basement down there. We can also come from the main staircase here, so we'll do that. So this is kind of the half basement, I'd call it. It's not the main part, because there is another floor that goes deeper down. The main basement is further below. But down here, this is kind of a mix of some stuff we need and also a piping area as well in some ways. We also have our coin storage here, so we store all of the different coins that we have here. We have quite a few coins, in fact. Yeah, we're doing quite well there. Let's see, what else do we want to take a look at? Let's go back here. Right, this is one of our bigger setups over here as well. This is covered. This was episode 93. We did this. This is setting up our hydrogen, our oxygen, which is completely empty now because we're making polyethylene, and that has drained us of oxygen, and also nitrogen. So this is something we set up a while back. Now, there is something I want to mention, actually, that I've had to do here. So we are making polyethylene downstairs. We'll take a look at that in a bit as well. We set that up last time, and this has completely drained me of all my oxygen. And I ran into an issue recently. So this tank was full up for a while. Of course, the polyethylene has taken all this oxygen, so it's completely drained itself now. And we ran into an issue. So what happened was, we have a quadruple bond fluid pipe right here. So we get oxygen and hydrogen. Over here, we make nitrogen and oxygen as well. So we get oxygen from producing nitrogen and hydrogen. It's basically a byproduct. So what happened was, because we're storing both hydrogen and oxygen in just pipe, well, once this tank emptied out, the hydrogen decided it's time to be pushed into here because obviously it can. There was no oxygen to stop it anymore. So that was a big problem because it clogged up all the pipes I had down there. I had to fix that big mess, and I did. And I had to find a way to make sure that never happened again, and I did. So what I did was, on this pipe here, I installed a new item called a fluid filter cover. And it's just kind of interesting process to make it because, so the way you make the fluid filter cover is you have to first make, well, you have to make a shutter module cover with an electronic circuit. To make that, you need a drain module cover with some iron plate. To make the drain module cover, you need iron plate and iron bars. So it's a little complicated for somebody. I don't know why we have to go through all that just to make this, but we did, and it's quite useful because what I can do is I can filter a fluid to a specific area. And the way I set this up, I had to do the filter output. I also had to do allow output because if I don't have that on, it actually will not allow the hydrogen to be pushed into this tank anymore. With allow output, at least it will allow hydrogen into here, but it will not allow it to go into here anymore because I can't I can't lock the fluid on these tanks manually, I don't think. I think later on there'll be better tanks we'll be able to get, but not on these. But this is the best I can do for now, and it works quite good. Also, speaking of which, also, we have something else I want to mention was this little thing right here tells you the item you're looking at. I've been having issues with because of how big it is, as you can see there. I can actually turn that off if I press the 1 key. So that is something I will be utilizing going forward. So that is quite good. Right, so what else do we have over here? This is some additional setups we have. This is an arc furnace. We use that to produce some raw iron and anneal copper, which is quite good for a couple of things. Over here, this is where we make our, what was it called? Sulfuric acid, and I'm going to tear this thing down pretty soon because we just don't have the oxygen for this anymore, and we have a much better way of making it with our oil processing chain, I think. So it's something I have to get on with, but this is going to be completely changed here at some point. But that's what we made sulfuric acid. It gets pumped down to a tank down below. In here, we have a little piping area. This is where the pipe from above gets taken down below. And that was an explosion, which was probably, if I were to guess, a squid in the water. I'm going to assume that's happened before. The mobs do explode in this pack, so sometimes it happens. I don't think it would have been anything in the base, but we'll probably find. Over here, we have our rock breaker, which its main use is I can put redstone in it, and we can get some obsidian. So we don't actually have any of that right now, but that's how that thing is set up right there. Right, what else do we have as well? Over here. So this is the underside of our multi-farm right here. So all the inner workings of this is kind of here. So we have to do, there's a lot of pipe stuff here. We have water. We have to bring in steam because it needs to be powered, of course. It needs water, so I have pipes here. And it also needs some dirt, which we are running low a little bit in that barrel there. And then we get our outputs here, which we get the rubber saplings. Oh, we also make the fertilizer in this mixer right here. This is an automated process with sand, dirt, and wood pulp, which is all stocked up in here. In fact, we're running out of wood pulp as well. All right. Sand. The sand we actually use to make the fertilizer, we directly get from the multi-farm as well. So that is quite good. And then I think the only other thing to look at on this floor is over here, which is the underside of our crop managers. Right, so this one, we made this first. This was episode 85 when we first did that, if you're curious. And, oh, basically it just picks up the logs. We also get saplings. The logs go down further below. And in this one, we get some cotton. So we are doing quite well. We've gotten over 1,000 cotton already. And all these different kind of door areas, these are just general piping areas where I put pipes through. This one also has the underside of our smeltery right here because it does stick down to the basement, so I had to hide that somehow. So that's why that's also there. That's why this little wall's here for the most part. Right, so that's this area. So now let's go down to the main basement, and this is where a lot of stuff happens. So this is the real basement area, and this is where we have our heavier hitting multi-block structures. So, for example, we have our steam blender right here, which was very expensive to make, and we hardly ever use it. But I think we will have some uses. In fact, like we said, the redstone alloy dust needs a mixer, so it'll be quite good for that. Although I think this thing only processes up to LV recipes, so we'll use it for a while, but it won't be used for everything, I suppose. But we have the mixer. It's a pretty big multi-block. I mean, yeah, I need iron, blocks of iron for the little kind of rotor. That's quite good. Over here, we have our main steam supply for our basement area. So this is a much bigger steam tank. It's a steel one instead of iron. And this thing is fed by 2 low-pressure boiler tanks. Or the, excuse me, solid fuel boiler firebox and the liquid fuel boiler firebox, which is with the low-pressure boiler tanks, the max size. And they're running off of, this one runs off of charcoal, and this one runs off of creosote oil, which we're getting from back there. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And these have their own water supply because these do drain water. They take a lot of water, so I mean, this is still kind of actually overkill, but I just want to be better safe than sorry. I don't want to use too much water. The other water tank up there actually supplies water to other parts of the base, so this one I just want to do its own dedicated setup. But yeah, these are plugged into the steel tank right here, and they give us our main steam supply right here. They give quite a bit of steam off. And again, the way this is all taken care of is from over here. So this is our coke ovens right here. We set these up in episode 86. So we have 24 coke ovens, 16 of them are up here. 8 of them are down below where we have yet another piping area. We'll take a look at that. In fact, let's go down there right now. This is our further below piping area right here where we have the additional coke ovens here. And we also, ooh, there's an Enderman down there. And we also have various different pipes all across the basement. It's generally just a piping area. That's why it's not decorated and everything. Also, while we're down here, I have another mystery I want to talk about. A couple episodes ago, it wasn't long ago, I moved a new iron golem down here because we do get, like that Enderman you saw over there for a moment, we do get Enderman and Ender Creeper spawning in here. So I had an iron golem down here patrolling the area. And well, as you can probably tell, he's no longer here. And I don't know what happened to him. One possibility was that the steam pipes are hot, so you can get damaged if you get hit by them. But I don't think, I mean, maybe he could have hit his head on this one a few times and died. But I don't know why he would have. I think they're like 3 blocks tall. I mean, maybe he jumped, I don't know. I mean, maybe a mob killed him. That's a possibility as well. But that seems kind of tough for a mob to do. I don't know. I mean, he was at full health last I knew, so something must have happened to him. But, yeah, he's gone, so I might have to put a new one down here. But he was a more recent Iron Golem, though. Iron Golem we've had for a long time now. I mean, he's a staple of the base now. He's still kicking, so he's been around for a while. We'll hopefully keep him alive for a good while. Right, so let's continue on. So we've got some various rooms in here that have various different purposes. So we'll start in here. We'll kind of go in the chronological order of when we made them. So this right here is our rubber processing area. And we initially set this up. This was in episode 78 if you're curious about how we set it up. But I'll give you a basic lowdown. In fact, actually, to start that off, we actually have to go back up here to describe this. So the first step of our rubber processing, it starts with the multi-farm, which gives us the rubber logs. And those rubber logs are taken over here into this barrel, which is put into 2 centrifuges, 2 basic centrifuges. And those rubber logs, if we look at them, give us, let's see if we can find the recipe, centrifuge, sticky resin, plant balls, carbon dust, wood pulp, and methane. So what we basically get out of this is all that stuff. The biggest thing that we get out of this is, if I go back to that, let's go right there, is the sticky resin. That's the biggest one we get, because with the sticky resin, we can further process that in the raw rubber dust, which we eventually can process with some sulfur to get the rubber, molten rubber, that is. We also can get refined glue as well, which we're also using that. But the nice thing about this setup right here, this is actually using 40 EU a tick, both of these combined, and they actually power themselves because these things make methane, and we are powering them with methane. So that's a neat little thing there. So that's one thing we're doing there. I just noticed it is nighttime, so let's go to sleep here quick once again. All right, so continuing on. Basically, what happens is all the items we get from there come down here. So we have our plant balls, we have the sticky resin, the wood pulp, and carbon dust. So the sticky resin is further processed into here where we get refined glue. Everything is filled up, basically. We're not even making rubber because I actually have so much. This thing it's almost too good. This thing filled up so fast. We haven't been making molten rubber for a while, but it is quite good. Also, look at this. The refined glue tank is completely full. So all of this is used to make various things. The main use is I can come here with an assembler and I can make the different cables by sticking a wire in here. We can also make the rubber sheets. That's quite useful. And over here, we have some wood planks we make. I sometimes connect this, so we're getting wood pulp. It's not connected right now because we do need the wood pulp for other things. And then over here, we have our circuit area where we make our circuits and circuit components. And in fact, actually, I need to put that in there to get you running some more. There we go. More circuits coming in. So the reason we have this all here is because we can use the refined glue in order to make things like circuit boards and resistors. And the carbon dust is also an ingredient we use to make the resistors as well. So all of this kind of works in tandem to help us out to make some of the more key components. For example, like the cables, we need a lot of rubber for that. Circuits you always need. You need a ton of circuits all over. We've been doing quite well on them. We really haven't had much of an issue with circuits. So that's this area right here. So next we'll go to, where should we go next? We covered the coke ovens. Right, let's go to probably my second favorite room in the base, the ore processing room. I really like this room. This is one of my favorites as well. So the way this works, so we did we set this up in episode 84. So the way this works then is, it's basically a 3-machine chain. We had 3 multi-blocks. It starts with the steam purifier. We also go into the steam presser, and then we have the steam separator. So basically an ore washer, a forge hammer, and a centrifuge. Now, the first step of our ore processing, actually, I should start here, actually. So we have our different type of ores that we get from mining. We stick them in here, all of our raw ores. This is an overflow chest. I recently went for some emerald and beryllium and thorium. That was with the LV miner. We did that in the nether because it's easier to use the miner in the nether. It just is. We then have a chest with impure dust. We have crushed dust in here. And over here is our steam grinder, where we use to basically pulverize these to get double the ores. It's quite fast. It's a multi-block, so it does work quite well. I put them in there, and they come out into here where we have all of our crushed ores. And when there's a specific ore I want to process, for example, a crushed one. In fact, we can probably give an example. Let's use magonite for an example. Do we have any extra? We do have a little extra. Let's do that. Right, so we have a little bit of magonite here. So what we do is you look at the use of magonite, and we look here, and the chain we use is, so we've already done the macerating step. We go ore washing plant, macerator. You can also substitute that with a forge hammer because it's faster, and we don't need to use a macerator because we can't get the byproducts until HV anyways. And then the centrifuge. So this one, this one, this one. So we have to look at the ore washing plant. So the way this works is we put these into this barrel here. But before we do that, we have to set the filters kind of. This is kind of a manual filter. So when you process these inside of an ore washer, you're going to get a few things. Let's see if we can find it. Ore washer. You're going to use some water, and you're going to use you're going to get some purified ore. You're going to get stone dust every time, and a chance of getting a byproduct. In this case, it's iron dust. So the way this works is I have to put this into here, and it will get sucked up by the conveyor module into the machine. This will turn on, and we'll start to process that. But eventually, we'll get a byproduct, and we have to make sure that the the system here can catch it. So because the byproduct for this is an iron dust, we're going to put an iron dust there into a locked drawer. which will keep it there. And the way the pipes are set up is that whenever this thing finishes, so it is off and running, and we're not going to get iron dust this time, but we will get stone dust. Basically, the way the item pipes work is it looks for the first available inventory in the pipe chain. So we have it there. Comes into a hopper, which is then pushed into the large tin item pipe. And then, of course, stone dust we always get, so it's pushed into this barrel right here. There we go. And then it's eventually pushed into the forge hammer if it's the crushed or purified ore. That turns it into the purified dust. But if we get the byproduct, I have to set this so it can catch that as well, because otherwise the byproduct will go in here and eventually this will all get clogged up. So that's what happens there, and then eventually it gets thrown into the purified pile. Gets turned into there by the presser. That gets sucked eventually into the steam separator, and it'll process. Let's see if it'll do that. There we go. It'll process that, and we can get a byproduct of some gold dust. All of that's taken out in from this hopper into this pipe, and we have a massive wall of dust over here. And also this one right here is also connected to that as well. So we have a massive wall of dust. We get tons of stuff from here. Tons of stuff. I've been processing some new stuff recently. I was processing... So, you probably noticed recently I got my hands on some emerald and beryllium recently. So, I was processing those, and... Well, we are getting some thorium out of that as well. And I was processing that because if we process thorium, we get this. Uranium-238, which I thought was quite interesting. So, we actually have a little bit of that now. And a couple of other things as well. I'm going to have to add more barrels. I basically just keep extending along here as needed. So that's how that works. And then we also have more expansions coming. We're going to be adding the sifter soon, because now that we have polyethylene, we'll be able to do that. So that's what we're going to do soon. But yeah, we'll be working in here pretty soon again. But I'm quite happy with the setup. It's really nice. I'm really liking this setup. So yeah, that's that room. And then I think we have one more area to take a look at, which is our oil processing facility here. So this is the oil processing facility. We covered this in episode 96 and 97. We got the oil in 96. 97 was when we did the processing of all the various bits. We are, finally, I think the big oil spout we set up. So let's take a look at the map, actually. In fact, right, so this is the oil we get. And the way we get our oil, we'll start with that. It comes from a giant pipeline right here. So we have this right here, a long-distance fluid pipeline pipe. And we have an oil spout, which is a long ways... Well, it's not that far, actually. It's all the way down here in the swamp, and this was the first one. This is the second one we hit up. I think it's actually finally run out. Sometimes this thing will stop for a bit of time, and then it'll stop filling in again, but it's actually been stopped for a bit longer. So well, maybe actually the... No, it is connected still, so the chunk loader didn't run out. That's another possibility, I guess, but I kept that thing running. So it might finally run out, I think. But we're doing quite well in oil right now. So, basically, yeah, that's how that thing runs. So, it goes all the way from our base all the way down here. So, it is quite a few of these, but they're not the worst to make. It's a lot of steel, but that's how that works. And back here, again, is kind of a little area for our tanks and stuff. Right, so that was the oil. So, basically, the way that works is all our oil gets distilled in these 4 distilleries into 4 basic things, which ultimately are going to turn into naphtha, heavy fuel. This is refinery gas, but we're using that for polyethylene, and light fuel here. And we also get a byproduct of hydrogen sulfide. And this right here is what I want to try and use to make sulfuric acid going forward, because I think we should be able to. I have to have a look at that still, but we'll probably work on that. Over here, we have a little bit of some oil cracking stuff. We're making butane and propane. And then over here, we did this in our last episode, episode 99, polyethylene. And look how much we have now. That is quite good. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It has drained us, though. Again, oxygen is gone. Refinery gas is gone. But basically, the way it works, we get the refinery gas in here. We turn it into severely steam cracked refinery gas. We distill it into ethylene. And then we combine the ethylene with oxygen from above whenever we get that in. We get polyethylene, and we have quite a bit. And this is going to have quite a few uses. And then finally, we have one other area right here where I have actually a couple of additional tanks for sulfuric acid, chlorine, and mercury. And I think that's pretty much everything. I think that is everything in the base for the most part. So this right here goes to an old mining tunnel. I just kept it there. I think that was a tin vein. There might still be some stuff there. I might have to get some of that at some point. But yeah, that is pretty much it for what we've covered in our first 100 episodes in terms of the base. So it's been quite an adventure so far. We've gotten a lot done. I'm quite proud of how this has all turned out. But yeah, that is, for the most part, everything we've done in the base. So there are a few more things that I actually want to do before we end the episode, because this is a 100th episode. I want to do a few more things. We're going to do our loot bag opening, but there is one more thing I want to do before we do that, actually. I want to actually take a little bit of a field trip for a moment. So we have a mining tunnel that goes to this mountain right here, and well, it actually goes all the way out to here. There's something I actually want to check out here for a minute. I want to do it together. So let's grab our hang glider so that we can go on this trip. So let's take a quick peek down here because, yeah, it's something I want to just check out on the other side of that mountain there. So it is quite fast to get through. Oh, by the way, actually, we also have a nether portal, which is right here. That's where our nether portal is. So something else as well to keep in mind. But right, let's head down here. So we are going to go on a bit of a trip here. So it's something I wanted to check out. Oh, also, let's stop here for a minute as well. This is a Loot Games dungeon, actually. We did this a while back. It was a pretty interesting adventure, actually. We did that. We did a Minesweeper game. We actually won it. We got everything finished in that. I think we only lost once. You get a couple of lives at it. We got a tin vein down here as well. But that was something fun we did once. I don't think I ever found another one of these. Maybe I found... I might have, actually, but I don't remember. I think that's the only one we have. I could be wrong. Anyways, let's keep going down here. We have to... I want to quickly check on that other side. There was something I wanted to investigate, so let's quickly do that. It won't take too long. With our speedy boots, we should be quite fast in getting down there. Oh, hang on a minute. Why is there netherrack here, actually? That's kind of out of place, isn't it? That's kind of strange. Why would I put netherrack here? Oh, it keeps going, actually. Hang on a minute. Oh, this is weird, isn't it? Okay. Staircase going down. Right, I don't actually remember this. Let me quickly investigate. What's going on down here? Oh, this is weird. What's all this netherrack here? Soul sand. Okay, some weird nether stuff going on down here. Right, this is actually kind of strange, actually. Right, let's keep looking. This is a little weird. Oh, what is that? Right, this is really odd. Right, what is that right there? Factory door. What could be behind this door right here? Ah, what is that? Looks like some soul sand and wither skeleton skulls. So, a wither. But wait a minute, don't we need 3 skulls to fight the wither? Oh, we'll have to go and find one in the nether over there. Oh, well, look at that. We have a 3rd wither skeleton skull right here. And a splash potion of night vision. Right, well, if you haven't figured... Well, it's probably obvious at this point. We're going to fight the withers, what we're going to do. That's why we came down here. So, we're going to fight the wither for our 100th episode. So, I went out to the nether recently, and I went to the nether fortress, and I managed to get my hands on 3 wither skeleton skulls. So, I actually put luck or looting on my crossbow, and it actually didn't take that long. It was not that bad. How are we doing? Because this is actually going to be a pretty interesting fight. Sword... I'll be fine, I think. Right, so we have our wither skeleton skull. We are going to fight the wither here. We'll see how it goes. It could go badly, but hopefully it won't. We do have a splash potion of night vision because he probably will destroy the torches, so it is only for 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Now, we do have 66 hearts. I do a ton of damage. I have a feeling this will probably be pretty easy. I could be wrong. It is nighttime. We actually get a buff from that, so... Yeah, I think we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to also, because we might have to back up here, we're going to tear this down right here. We don't need this. Let's grab our mining hammer here. That was kind of weird, wasn't it? Didn't take that down. Right, so I set all this up actually just for this. I thought I'd build a little bit of a surprise for you. So, right, let's put that away in the backpack, and... Oh, actually, wow, I have a ton of stuff in here. I guess I forgot to clear that out, didn't I? Right, that's okay. Also, let's grab some of this tail wart because we might get withered by this. I really don't think this is going to be too tough, but we'll see how it goes. Right, do we think we're ready for this? We'll see how it goes. All right, let's do it. Oh, let's go to sleep first. We might get a good buff. We might get strength. If we get strength, that'd be really nice. But I don't think it's going to be that difficult. We'll see. Nope, we got water breathing. The worst possible one we could have got. All right, here we go. Time to fight the wither. Let's do it. Okay, back up. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to use this right now. Alright, there we go. Oh, look at that. Look how much damage I did there. I did do a pretty big explosion there, didn't it? Alright, we did get withered right there. In fact, actually, let me turn down the, not that. Let me turn down the hostile mobs a bit, because he is a bit loud. Let's do 20%. Right, so, where are you at? Oh, he's just stuck up there. Oh, he won't take damage from that anymore. Yeah, this is going pretty easy, actually. And... dead. Alright, that wasn't actually hard at all, was it? Yeah, that went about how I thought. We did blow up this whole room right here. Ooh, wait a minute. What's that up there? Oh, no, I just covered that up with gravel. We're pretty down below. I don't think we hit anything. And we're pretty far from the base anyways. That's why I put it in this tunnel. Mobs may spawn down here, so let me quickly throw some torches. In fact, let's turn the magnet on. That's fine. Okay, let's, Did we get another star, by the way? Where would that be? There we go, another star. Division Sigil and miniature yellow heart. Lovely. Okay, so there we go. Wither fight down and taken care of. Let me just put some torches here quick. Yeah, I should have probably dug this all the way down the bedrock, but, yeah, I was a bit more digging than I wanted to do at the moment. I already had to decorate this whole tunnel, so I don't want to decorate too much. So yeah, there we go. Wither fight down and taken care of. So that wasn't really that bad at all. I mean, look at that. We're full health. The piston boots didn't even... Well, we got mending, I guess, so that worked out quite fine. Right, so we took down the wither, and yeah. Let's see. Can I clear out my inventory a bit? I really should have cleared this out earlier. All right, let's just put everything in there right now. Put you there. And put you in there. Put that there and put that there. Lovely. Right. All right. So let's go head back into the base now that we've gotten our hands... Oh, I need that hang glider, actually. In fact, we might as well hold on to that nether star as well. We'll put that with our treasures. Right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to also go ahead and do our big loot bag opening. So that's the next thing I want to do. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. I don't want to end up going to the wrong side of the tunnel. Right, so that wasn't too bad. With a fight. Again, we're pretty powerful. I bet you we could take two withers on at once, honestly, in our current state. We probably could. Again, that guy hardly did much to us, so... Yeah, we got another star. Alright, so let's go drop this off. And we're going to go up to the planning room, and we're going to do our loot bag opening. We'll drop the nether star. Where do I want to put that? Let's put it in here with the other treasures. It will be used for some stuff at some point in the future, so we'll have to get on with that. Right, so let's do that. Now I can put the hang glider away. All right, so how we're going to do this is we're going to empty our inventory. So let's put everything in here. Completely empty inventory. And all right, that will work. And then let's start opening loot bags. Right, so we'll do these ones first, and then we'll save these because I'll do those all in one go. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's do that. In fact, let's take the healing axe off as well. That doesn't matter actually. We can. Well, no, let's take it off. Put the healing axe in here as well. All right, so let's do this like this. Right, so we have, what do we have here? 4 Stranger basic loot bags. Let's open those up. Okay, we got some torches and a couple of different types of wood. Maho, papaya, and lime wood. Okay. Next, we'll do the Transportation 3 class loot bags. And, okay. Pufferfish, string, and bone meal. I don't know what those have to do with transportation, but okay. Right, Transportation 2 class. I think these are upgraded versions of the Transportation 3, so hopefully they'll be better. Right, that has something to do with transportation. We got a rubber dinghy, which we already have. We got a wooden Y track. Okay. Cook card and a casting form boat shape, which we actually already have. Alright, so let's go put these things away then. Okay, that's where we're going to put all the stuff we get from the loot bags. And now we'll go ahead and open up these. We have 18 LV loot bags plus an enchanted one as well. We'll go ahead then and open those up now. So let's just do this. Let's just go crazy with these. I'll just open them up all at once. Okay, there we go. What did we get out of that? In fact, let's open this one too. Alright, there we go. That's all the stuff we got from the loot bags here. So what did we just pick up? We got some oil cells. We got some food, which we've eaten. Iron wrench. The Pan of Doom. We've already gotten that one before. We got more apiaries, some books, large bacon sandwiches. Screwdriver steel. We don't need that. We don't need a wrench, although it is Damascus steel. Iron hammer, a single iron ore. Oh, mining pipes. That's a good one. We got iron hammer, another one. Water bucket, copper. Okay, well, we did need some copper. Horse spawn egg, 2 circuits, basic solar engine. Some more food, imp skin, food. Oh, we got another hang glider. And we also got a spawn mushroom. Spawn egg for mushroom, right. Okay, so we got all of those then. So let's go then and put those into the chest. So we actually have one more loot bag left to open. So you might be wondering where that loot bag is. Those are all of our loot bags. Well, this is the best loot bag we've ever opened, what we're about to open. So I haven't actually claimed the quest yet, but you might remember that we were processing some of that thorium to get uranium-238 earlier. Well, if we come down in the quest book, we have a quest to claim here, and it's this one here. To make the uranium-238 electron tubes. And look at this. If we claim this, which we're about to do, we get a tier 3 HV loot bag. So we're going to end this off with a bang here, loot bag opening. And we're going to open our first ever tier 3 HV loot bag. Keep in mind, we're only an LV here. So this is the first time that we've ever opened up an HV loot bag. I mean, this is 2 tiers ahead of us. I mean, should be quite good. I mean, it can contain... If we actually look at it, you can actually get stuff from the Tier 2 MV loot bag as well, but that's going to be hopefully good. I'll probably get the worst reward possible, but it's okay. It's an exciting adventure. So let's see what we get. HV loot bag. Here we go. We got... Oh, whoa, what did we get? SMD transistors. Okay, and energy crystal. HV tier. 1 million EU. Okay, so we just got 1 million EU of HV power. Okay, wow, and SMD transistors, I don't think we can make those yet. It is LV. Silicon, okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, you don't need that for that. You can use, okay, oh no, that's MV. Right, so these aren't makeable yet. Okay, so that was interesting right there. Okay, so, interesting, we got all of that. That's all the stuff we got from that loot bag right there. Those loot bags, decent haul. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort all of that stuff out. Let me put my healing axe back on. Right, so what I'm gonna have to do here is I'm gonna have to go and quickly sort all of the stuff we have here out. And, yeah, I'm gonna go quickly sort all of this stuff out, and then I'll be back, and we'll wrap up our 100th episode. And so we have come to the end of our 100th episode together in GregTech New Horizons. 100 episodes, a number that, when I first started this series, I never really imagined we'd make it that far. Honestly, when I first started, I never really knew how far this was going to go. But we've made it pretty far. We've done pretty well. We've got all of this around us right now. I mean, it's pretty good, isn't it? But before we end our 100th episode, there are a few more things that I want to say to end off. Kind of cap off 100 episodes of GregTech New Horizons so far. And I really want to say thank you. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for all the comments you've given me. I'm not really too big on asking anything about likes and subscriptions. That's just not me. I really do this just because I find it enjoyable. I find it enjoyable playing the game. I find it enjoyable just thinking about the thought that maybe someone watching this video or the other videos I've made on the pack so far have had a little bit more of an interesting day, perhaps. That's what drives me forward. Also, the idea that progressing in the pack, I really do love the pack and enjoying progression, building stuff up. It's just a fun pack to play through, and it's just been a fun 100 episodes. I've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I mean, it's been an interesting experience for me. I've learned so much. The comments have been so useful. I thank everyone for the comments. I mean, I get so many great comments, so many great tips, so many great tricks, and it's amazing. It's been more than I ever imagined when I first started this series, because at the beginning of the series, I never really knew what I was going to do. I never knew how far this was going to go. I just wanted to try something new, and well, it's gone pretty far, and I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. So, I just wanted to end off this 100th episode by saying thank you. Thank you so far for watching, for all the comments, for everything. And I do appreciate it. Also, before we end off a 100th episode, I want to say one other thing as well. I want to kind of make a new goal for the series, because we play through the pack at a pretty slow pace. I mean, we don't make too much progress over time. I mean, we make progress. We're steadily making progress, in fact. We're going to be making the EBF pretty soon, actually. We've got a lot to do going forward. But I've been thinking about what kind of long-term goals we can set, because, in this pack, the main goal is to make the Stargate, and that is a long ways away, and at our current pace, we could probably be playing this for 20 years, and that's a lot of time, so we're probably not going to get to the Stargate. I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves, we're not going to get there. But we can set goals that are more attainable in the far future, and I think I have one that I want to try and obtain. The goal I'm thinking of for the far future that I would love to attain at some point in this pack, that is, I want to try and obtain the ability to get to the moon. I want to try and make a rocket and get to the moon. And I feel like I feel like that's just a nice goal to set and try and get to. So that's the new goal going forward. We're going to try and go to the moon. So, of course, we're not going to get there anytime soon. It's going to take a long time. Maybe over another 100 episodes at least at our current rate. I mean, getting to the moon's at the end of HV. We're still in LV, so we've got a ways to go. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, again, I wanted to end this episode off by just giving you, a couple of thanks for everything. New viewers, old viewers alike. I know there's a lot of people that have been watching, some of the episodes, especially recently. I've been getting some good comments again. And I've enjoyed all of it. I've enjoyed playing the pack. I've enjoyed making these videos. It's been a fun world. It's been a fun experience. So yeah, I just wanted to cap off our 100th episode by saying those things, and yeah, that's where we're gonna end it. 100 episodes, and we've got many more to go. We've got a lot more going on in this pack. We've still got so much to do, and more will be coming out very soon. So that is where we're going to end this one. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed the series so far, all 100 episodes that we've produced so far. And I will see you again soon for more episodes of GregTech New Horizons. Bye for now.